Hi, I'm Michael Wood.
I'm Walker Andrews. We went on the Yugo Mission Trip to Mexico.
Yeah, so the trip was in Ensenada, Mexico with Yugo Ministries, and we were going down there to partner with a local church. They had selected a family for us to build a house for.
Yeah, so for me at first, I didn't really know what to expect. I'd never been to that mission trip before, and it seemed pretty intimidating at first. But with the help of our foreman, by the second day, we pretty much had the whole roof and the whole house going. And so on that third and fourth day, it was just smooth sailing, pretty easy work.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I didn't really even know what to expect, so my expectations were pretty blank. But I think Walker said it well. When they talked about framing, I was way out of my depth. I built a tabletop or some very basic structures out of wood, but a house, way out of my element there. But Yugo did a great job of partnering us up with some really knowledgeable and skilled craftsmen and foremen, and we were able to get, I think, even a little bit ahead of schedule.
Mm-hmm. With one of the foremen, we were just on the roof together pretty much the whole time. And the way that we communicated through the language barrier just really surprised me how easy we were able to communicate. His name was Herman. We got along great, and just communicating through that language barrier and being able to do it well and get our job done, that was what surprised me the most.
Yeah, for me, I think the most personal experience I had there was the dedication ceremony for the house. The last day when we're putting all the final touches on the house, the family's kind of out of the scene, and when we finally bring them out, they're in front of the door, everybody surrounds them, we go around and we just share a little something about the trip, the experience that we had. And I was the last one to go and the one to hand them the keys. And I don't know why, but when it was my turn, it all hit me, just the weight, the depth of what God was doing through us, our answer to his call for obedience to go to Ensenada, to go on this trip. It all just kind of resonated with me in that moment, and it was profound, and it was so cool because God invites us to participate in the blessings that he bestows on other people in this world. And so that for me was just, I'd never experienced God in that kind of way before to that extent. So that's something that I'll definitely never forget.
So for me, the trip was really an eye-opener in showing me how God's kingdom is really worldwide. It also showed me how the rest of the world, lives. We're really spoiled in America. Some of the differences just in, obviously, the food they eat, the culture, the housing, the way they live there. But the thing I definitely take from it is how God's kingdom is just so spread out, so worldwide, and everyone comes together to praise him.
And so I guess the final thoughts on the trip is just around obedience. When you feel those nudges from God calling you in a certain direction, the importance of not ignoring those, to pursue those passionately and obediently, and just being open to what God can do through simple obedience like that. And God has certainly opened me up to being more obedient, being more sensitive to his callings, his influence in my life. And so I'm looking forward to wherever that leads.
It was a good time for me. I think it's sort of a mild trip. You're not going too far. It's just right across the border, So I definitely recommend it for anyone that's looking for their first mission trip or to do another one.
Yeah, I echo that. It's definitely, if you've never done a missions trip before, it's not something that is, I wouldn't say outlandish, but it's not difficult. It's a few hours in a car, a few hours in a plane. Aside from driving through Ensenada, where the Yugo campus is, you wouldn't really even notice too much of a difference. But I think that it's great for people, especially who want to be obedient and serve God in a new way. That's huge for every Christian in every walk. But for people who love worship, I don't know about you, but when we had chapel, and there's just something about a small room full of people who are just worshiping at the top of their lungs because God is doing amazing things there. Like the Spirit is just permeating, saturating that room. There was just something so cool about seeing young people with their hands raised, just not caring what other people think about the way they worship or what they're saying or how they sound, but just completely laying it all out there for God. If you want to experience something like that, then this trip is definitely for you.
Yeah, I gotta say the worship there was definitely great. I mean, their praise team does a great job. That's for sure. Thank you. Have a good day, Calvary.
Thanks. Have a great day, Calvary.